How the heck are you? Hey, I wasn't gonna do another video, but boy, I just drank this beer, Miss Mary Jane, that was brought over all the way from England to me from Stuart Picard, and it just got me thinking, man. That finish was exquisite. Was reminded me of something, so I needed to do this. I'm doing a back to back here with Henry Weinhardt's Private Reserve. You know, they call it a Northwest style lager. I mean, it's that American lager style. As far as I know, this one is adjunct free. And it has a much similar aroma. I was smelling the aroma on that. It reminded me of some beers I had as a youngster before I might have been too young to drink beer. It had a great finish. It was very light. It was lighter than I expected, actually. I knew it was only 3.5%, but the color and the carbonation threw me off because I was expecting more of an ale-like beer, and what it poured, what it smelled, and what it tastes like was more of a light lager style. Yeah, I mean, it was very close to this color. Poured very similar as well. So I was kind of curious. The body was extremely light. There was really not enough malt to really say, oh, this, because it wasn't really that type of beer. But the finish on that Mary Jane was just exquisite. Amarillo hop, it was just beautiful. But again, I mean, it would, it'd be the type of beer that if somebody just handed it to me, I would just assume it was a classic American lager and not a beer from the UK, not a ale from the UK. So okay, now that I've tasted it back to back, because I did a video for it, and I said it kind of reminded me of this one. There are some similarities. This one is 4.7. Body is very similar. The aroma and flavor and finish are similar. However, it is more pronounced in the Mary Jane. And that's what I wanted to know, actually, because my brain, I was sitting there, I waited a few minutes, I waited about 15 minutes after I finished the last swallow, because I wanted to wait till that last bit of hops was gone from my palate, because it would just kind of linger in there. So I wanted to see what this one felt like up against it. Excuse me. Very similar crisp finish. This one does finish much nicer than most American lagers, but it doesn't have that hop presence that the Mary Jane had, and that's what I wanted to know if it did. I mean, it's not to say one is better than the other, because I mean they're two different types of beer, but it just got my mind thinking. I wanted to see what that did. I mean, this would be that classic American style lawnmower beer here. And this one is much better than most. It had been running full price. Uh, some places as high as $8.49, which is completely ridiculous. In many places, $7.96, which is still way too high for me. I did find it recently for $5 a six pack, which is a nice price. I mean, it is supposed to be better than a regular American lager, so it's going to cost a little more. I felt 8.5 is way out of the line. I felt even $8 was more than I was going to spend. But when I found it first on sale for $6.99. Okay, I'll do that. Then I found it again for $6.49. Then $5.99, and then at $4.97. Yeah, it's certainly worth $5 a six pack. It's actually worth $6 a six pack, and that's kind of my thing. I did like that Mary Jane a lot. But is it cost effective? I mean, what do I have to pay for it? This isn't. It's not available here. But if it was, would I pay $3 a bottle? Which is likely what it would go for here. Would I even pay $1.99 a bottle? Occasionally, when I want a specific flavor. But for the most part, probably not, because there's other places my money is going to go. If it's only $2 a bottle, yeah, I'd buy it free. Well, probably, I don't know about frequently, but I would buy it here and there, especially during the summer. it'd be that one good lawnmower beer, then I have the others. But again, that's the problem with a lot of these. For me, from an American point of view, my problem with these low ABV beers is, are they cost effective for me to buy? And 99% of the time, the answer is no. I mean, I've liked all of them that I've tried from Stewart, but if I have X amount of money in my hand to spend, I have this particular selection. You know, they're probably not going to make the cut, but they're all good. I'm not saying they're not all worth the money, but for me it just doesn't balance. But hey, I just wanted to do this just to see if it worked. Henry Weinhard's Private Reserve is a decent beer. I wanted to pull it up against this Mary Jane. I got to say though, in all honesty, I do like the finish on this one better. The finish on this just lingers. It's exquisite, but it does remind me of many old school American beers. Some I had when I was a youngster before conglomerates bought everything. That's a good beer, but it has all the characteristics of a classic American lager. So there you go. I'm done. I'm done here with Spursy. Bye bye.